So, Rob, please come up and I'll just ask you a few things to help you to get started, as it were. If you could put your welcome very much. Is that a sandwich?
No, it's for me anyway, not for you. No, let's see.
Are you switched on?
I am switched on.
Great.
Okay. Yeah.
Welcome. I've got a double question to start you off.
Yeah.
How are the US churches so interested in coming to Wales, and how are you facilitating them to come?
Okay. Well, to cut a long story short, I grew up in an academic's home. You need to know this. I grew up in an academic's home, but not a Christian home. And so he's a good man, my dad. My parents are good people. In fact, he was an incredible orator, my dad. You know, a lecturer, 19 years in the university. And I'm 50, you know, and in those days you could spank your kids and you wouldn't go to jail, kind of idea. But my dad hadn't used to spank us.
The good old days.
Oh yeah, my dad hadn't used to spank us. He was such a good orator. He'd talk to you about what you'd done wrong. In the end, you want to spank yourself. You know, he'd got that kind of ability, you know. So I grew up in this kind of home, but when I was 23, after lots of things going well, actually, I became a soccer player at 16. I walked down a catwalk as a model, Ken. I mean, do me a favor. I mean, nowadays I'm old enough to just kind of laugh at that, but so I did that, and then I was also academic, you know. So it seemed like things were going well. But in one particular year, I failed the whole year of my degree. I was released from Wolves, where I played. I lost my model girlfriend, and my father had a nervous breakdown. All in 1 year. And it helped me to think about life. And I met a young lady at a nightclub. I'd thrown a party for myself. Oh yeah. I'd thrown a party for myself. I was 23, for about 250 people, because I loved me. I think I would have married me if I could. I really did love me. And so I threw this party, and she came up to me, and she said, "Thank you for inviting me to your party." And I thought to myself, didn't invite you to my party, but I'm glad you came, if you know what I mean. And she was just a lovely person, and she asked me if I was a Christian. And from that conversation, and all the debates and arguments that we had then for the next year, she slowly but surely led me to the Lord. And on the 18th of May, 1987, I received the Lord. But within a year, I went to play soccer, and this is to answer your question. I went to play soccer in America. I signed a 1-year contract for Houston Dynamos, and I stayed 11 years. So our children were born in America. We lived for 6 years in Houston, 5 years in Dallas, Fort Worth. And I was sent, I know I've got a British accent, but because we had green cards, our children were born in America, I was sent from American churches, a mission, the largest mission sending body in the world actually, the International Mission Board of the Southern Baptist Convention, sent as a missionary with a British accent to Wales as a missionary, yeah. So there was 400 of us, there's 400 of us in Western Europe, thousands across the world. But I was the only one, my wife and I, with a British accent. They all had American accents. So if I was standing here talking American, you might understand it. But I was sent as a missionary to Wales. Because in this country, I don't know whether you know this, but EA statistics tell us that there's only 60,000 evangelicals in Wales. Less than 2% of our nation are evangelicals. I know we've had revivals century after century. I know that the last one was in 1904. But there's only 2% of us now that know the Lord. And so other countries are coming into our country as missionaries to start partnerships. So because I've had a 25-year relationship with America, Ken, and because of now it's a 15-year relationship with Wales, I was asked by the Evangelical Alliance and initially the First Baptist Church of Louisiana, which are in Bridgend right now, if I would begin to partner American churches with Welsh churches. And of course, you know, I know a lot of American churches and I know a lot of Welsh churches, you know, I've been here a long time. And so I asked God if that was the right thing. We began with the Bridgend mission, and right now, as we speak, they've reached in 1 week 10,000 people. They've been in 9 high schools, they've been in 20 primary schools, they've been in 3 care homes, they've been in 3 hospitals, 3 youth centers, they've done community events every single evening. Last night, there were 450 people in the Bridgend Recreation Center. And that's over 7 years now. That's where the Vale Partnership is going. Now, you're in your first year, but that's 7 years. And that's where it can go. There are 15 Welsh churches in the partnership. There's only 5 in yours at the moment. 15 churches in it. More than 200 Bridgend Christians have taken time off work this week to be in that mission. There are probably 3 times more Welsh people in that mission than Americans. And that's how this needs to be. So the idea is, under Missional Links, which is an initiative of the Evangelical Alliance, who I work for half of my week, to put 22 relationships in all 22 counties across Wales. And yours is the 3rd. 1 in Bridgend, 1 in the Rhondda Valley with Rob Jones, and 1 in the Vale. May there be many, many more.
Amen.
We're looking at great stuff. In 2015, we're looking at least 4, possibly 6. And we'll be working on those this year.
Great. And I hope that we're still involved with that.
You certainly
because
will
this
be.
church has been involved with the American and Canadian links for a long, long time. But I'm glad that some of the folk here will have some negative experiences that you and Rob of being careful is
Yes.
part of that, to screen out the wild and the wacky.
That's right. That's right.
Because that's Rob's expression, but it touches us that
Yeah.
for every good move of God, there's a counterfeit move of
Of course
the enemy.
there is.
And there's a lot of that stuff that we want to screen out, and we know that's
Yeah. The difference is,
critical for you.
the difference is, and you know, believe me, I've done all sorts of different American mission. 25-year association. That's a long, long time. So I suppose what my role is to know what works in Wales. 15 years in Wales, that's a good innings, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
I've been here quite a while. I know what works in Wales. I'm consultative. We talk to lots of different people. We talk to people like your pastor, and we talk about what they need. And so these missions are based on what is needed in an area and the skills and gifts of the church coming over. It's not about the American church deciding what it wants to give and then just coming into our area. No, it's about, number one, I'm looking for a long-term commitment from the church. Stephen Lowry said to us, didn't he?
Yeah.
I'm in it for the long term. Well, I've nurtured that. I've worked hard at getting him to understand that. We're looking for American churches that are committed to Wales. They don't have 30, 40 missions across different countries, but ones that have maybe got 4 or 5, and one of those is Wales. And so we're screening out all of that, and it's based on the gifts of the church, the American church, and the needs of the Welsh churches in an area.
Now, Rob, I'm very appreciative of the fact that you've made a lot of sacrifices to come to get to where you are.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say something about how you're financed in this.
Yeah, I'm financed by faith in this. And so I'm with Glenwood, so for a day a week, I help to lead Glenwood. It's never a day, is it? But you know what I mean. I'm on the leadership of Glenwood Church because I want to understand pastors. If I'm going and I'm partnering pastors in an area, they need to be able to look and go, you understand what it is to lead a local church. It's a difficult thing. So I will remain on the leadership of Glenwood, but this is an Evangelical Alliance initiative. It's unpaid, but it's faith support. And so I need all of the churches that we're partnering with to get behind me and to pray for me and to support me financially.
Wonderful.
Because by doing so, you'll not only have a mission in your area, the Vale, but you can play a part in reaching all 22 counties in Wales. But I need you to come behind me.
Amen. One last question that just came to me when you mentioned about once playing for Wolves.
Yes. For my sins.
In the unlikely scenario, say next May, if Wolves are playing Cardiff City in the playoffs,
yes,
who would you be shouting for?
I would be shouting for. That's a really hard question, Ken. Thank you very much. But here's my choice. I either get killed by you today by saying Wolves, or I get killed from my family when this goes on YouTube and they watch it. So I'm caught between a rock and a hard place, aren't I? So what can I say?
I think he means Cardiff.